Mia had returned home from work, expecting her beloved cat Bubbles to greet her at the door as usual. However, today was different. Bubbles was nowhere to be found. Mia's concern grew as she searched the house, calling his name louder with each passing minute. Finally, she discovered Bubbles. When Mia picked him up, she gasped in shock. Bubbles had a greatly swollen nose, causing her to panic. Without wasting a moment, she rushed Bubbles to the vet's office. The vet carefully examined Bubbles' swollen nose and soon made an intriguing discovery. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Mia had never seen this before, and it scared her greatly. Bubbles' nose had swollen up like a balloon. It looked like he had been stung by a bee or a wasp or something. But how was that possible? While Mia was worried sick, Bubbles did not really seem to know that there was something wrong. He was just acting completely like himself. It was like he did not even notice that his nose had swollen up to at least 10 times the size. She, of course, immediately called the vet. Luckily, the vet did not have too many appointments that day, and Mia and Bubbles could be seen in about 2 hours. Mia had also described Bubbles his strange condition to the assistant who was answering the phone that day. The assistant did not sound too worried. It was not the first time they were going to treat a cat who had a bit of a swollen nose. But the assistant had no idea how big the nose had actually gotten. And when she found that out, she regretted not scheduling Mia's appointment any sooner. This was looking very serious. The moment she walked in with Bubbles, immediately all eyes in the room shot in her direction. The jaw of the assistant dropped to the floor. She had not expected the nose to be that big. There was clearly an aura of uncertainty in the air at that moment. The vet on call was in surgery at the moment and could not be disturbed. But the assistant did not want to just do nothing. So, the moment that Bubbles tried to scratch his ear, the assistant was immediately worried he would hit his nose and put an anti-scratch collar on Bubbles. Not long after, the vet finally walked out of his office and was greeted by the very unexpected commotion. At first, he had no idea how to make sense of it, but then he quickly got a glimpse of the size of Bubbles' nose and knew that he had to do something quick. Bubbles was placed on the table and became a lot calmer now that the nervous assistant was not trying to forcefully restrain him. The vet asked Mia some questions, mainly trying to figure out how this could have happened, but the poor woman was completely clueless about that. In the softly lit examination room, Dr. Larson, the vet, carefully observed Bubbles, Mia's cherished cat. With practiced eyes, he noted the peculiar swelling of Bubbles' nose. After completing his examination, Dr. Larson stepped back, his expression pensive. "Well, Mia," he began, "there are no immediate signs of external injury or insect bites. The swelling is significant, but without apparent pain or distress." Mia's face was a mixture of relief and frustration. Dr. Larson promised a thorough investigation, but for now, the cause of Bubbles' condition remained an enigma. Dr. Larson, with a sympathetic tone, explained the next steps. "To really understand what's happening, we'd need to run some comprehensive tests." Mia stood in the quiet examination room, torn. The numbers swirled in her head, daunting figures that represented much more than currency. Each dollar was a sacrifice, a trade-off against her own needs. But then there was Bubbles, her faithful companion through lonely nights and joyous mornings. Back at home, Mia sat at her small kitchen table, bills and bank statements spread before her. She sifted through them, her mind wrestling with each expense. Could she skip the coffee shop visits? Delay replacing her worn-out shoes? Each small saving added up, but was it enough? The following morning, Mia woke with resolve. She looked at Bubbles, still sleeping peacefully, and knew what she had to do. Her financial concerns, though valid, paled in comparison to the health of her beloved cat. Picking up the phone, she called Dr. Larson's office. "I'll go ahead with the tests," she said, her voice steady. Back at Dr. Larson's office, Mia listened intently as he prescribed a course of anti-inflammatory medication for Bubbles. "This should help reduce the swelling and make him more comfortable," he explained, his voice a blend of professionalism and empathy. As Mia watched Bubbles carefully take his medication, then settle comfortably into his plush bed, she felt a wave of temporary relief wash over her. This medication, while not a cure, represented a beacon of hope in the uncertainty. Throughout the ensuing days, Mia came to understand and embody the true essence of patience. Each day that passed without a significant change in Bubbles' condition was a mix of relief and silent frustration. Mia realized that navigating the complexities of pet health issues was a journey marked as much by periods of waiting as by moments of action. Determined to find answers, Mia contacted Dr. Larson again, updating him on Bubbles' fluctuating condition. She recounted every new symptom and change, her voice tinged with both hope and desperation. Dr. Larson listened attentively, his professional demeanor reassuring yet thoughtful. He agreed that Bubbles' condition warranted further examination and suggested another appointment. Through this rigorous regime of care and observation, Mia found her bond with Bubbles growing even deeper. She talked to him as she made notes, explaining her actions, sharing her worries, and offering comforting words. Bubbles, in turn, seemed to sense Mia's increased attention and concern, often curling up beside her, his purring a soothing presence. Their connection, forged in the trials of his illness, became an unspoken language of love and care. As days turned into weeks, patterns in Bubbles' symptoms and behavior began to emerge from Mia's diligent notes. She observed that certain activities seemed to exacerbate his condition, while others had a soothing effect. These patterns, though subtle, were revelations to Mia, offering a glimmer of understanding in the maze of uncertainty. Each discovery, each correlation, brought her a step closer to deciphering the mystery of his ailment. Armed with her diary brimming with detailed notes, Mia prepared for their upcoming visit to Dr. Larson. While reviewing her diary, a memory flashed through Mia's mind. She remembered introducing a new air freshener into their home a few weeks ago. At first, this detail seemed inconsequential, but now it sparked a potential connection in her mind. Could such a small change in their environment have such a significant impact on Bubbles? Dr. Larson listened intently as Mia explained her observations and the potential link to the new air freshener. Leaving the vet's office, Mia felt a renewed sense of optimism. Clutching her diary close, she felt a surge of anticipation for the test results that could finally unravel the mystery of Bubbles' condition. The wait for the test results felt interminable to Mia, but finally Dr. Larson called with the news. The tests had revealed an allergic reaction in Bubbles, specifically triggered by a component in the new air freshener Mia had started using. Hearing this, Mia's mind raced. Relief at identifying the cause mingled with surprise. A simple household item, something she had never thought could harm Bubbles, was the culprit. In their follow-up appointment, Dr. Larson took the time to explain to Mia how common household items, like cleaning products, can sometimes have unexpected effects on pets. Mia listened intently, absorbing every word, understanding now how a seemingly harmless change had such a profound impact on Bubbles. Mia left the vet's office feeling a complex mix of emotions. She was immensely relieved that Bubbles' condition was not serious and easily treatable. Dr. Larson outlined a clear plan for Bubbles' recovery. He prescribed medication to alleviate the allergic reaction and advised Mia on how to eliminate the offending air freshener and other potential allergens from their home. In the days following the removal of the air freshener, Mia witnessed a remarkable improvement in Bubbles' condition. The swelling in his nose subsided, and his playful, lively demeanor returned. During this time, Mia often reflected on the entire experience. She realized the importance of being vigilant about changes in her home environment, especially those that could affect Bubbles. This ordeal had taught her a valuable lesson about the unexpected ways in which pets can be affected by our choices. As Bubbles fully recovered, Mia felt a sense of peace and contentment settle over their home. They enjoyed quiet evenings together, Bubbles purring contentedly in her lap, a symbol of their enduring bond. Mia realized that this experience, though fraught with worry, had brought them even closer together. It was a new beginning for both of them, one rooted in deeper understanding, mutual care, and a commitment to a healthier life side by side.